So, what is the biggest or main difference between the wealthy and the poor, the successful and the unsuccessful? Yes, there are several differences, but the main, most distinct, and most important difference is mindset. That's right. It's not money or the lack of money. It's how one thinks about money, which distinguishes the wealthy or the rich people from the broke or the poor people. It's not access to money or access to resources. It's pretty much how you think about it. It's the difference between economics and socioeconomic status. Economics is pretty much the resources you have. Socioeconomic status is what you think about that, your mindset as it relates to money. And so, hey, I want to welcome you to Skill Set and Mindset, which is the tools that you need to act like the wealthy so that you can attract like the wealthy. And yes, there is a saying that you should act as if. And if you read the Bible, it says, speaking things that be not as though they were, speaking things until they come to pass. Yes, you act like the wealthy in order to attract like the wealthy. You act like a wealthy person before you ever get to that status. And that's how you grow into it. My name is Victoria Green Brackens, and I'm the founder and the lead trainer of Milk and Honey Success Education. That is my company. I am a success and achievement trainer as well as a professional stock trader. And my mission is to empower minds and change lives. What do I do at that company? Through seminars and programs and writings and books that I offer, I turn 9-to-5ers into 3-to-5ers. 9-to-5ers, which are people who have a 9-to-5 job, a regular 9-to-5 job, and studies show that most people hate those jobs. I turn 9-to-5ers into 3-to-5ers, meaning you can retire, yes, leave your job in 3 to 5 years. Also, 3 to 5 means the top 3 to 5% of people in the nation who own the wealth. And I want to say right now, you are, if you're tuning in here, or if you watch this video at any time later on, you are a part of the 3 to 5 already, because the 3 to 5 is another statistic that says only about between 4 and 5% of people invest in themselves as it relates to seminars, reading books that other than what they have to read, such as for school or work, investing in themselves by bettering themselves so that they become more marketable, they become more of an asset at whatever it is they do, whatever service or gift they offer to the world. So thank you for joining in. Please send me the thumbs up, send me the wow emoji, send me the, just tell me hello, say something to let me know you're here. I see a lot of people logging in. I want to thank you. And I just want to congratulate you for investing in yourself, because you're already putting yourself head and shoulders above the crowd, above the other 9-to-5ers, above the herd that you see in the traffic jam on your way to work in the morning. So congratulations, hats off to you. Kudos to you. So that's very, very good. That's a wonderful thing. Back to why we're here tonight. Really what I'm doing tonight is I just want to introduce you all to a seminar that a free seminar that I'm doing at the Micro Business Center in Albany, Georgia on December 7th. It's going to be about an 1.5 to 2 hour seminar to show people some of the things that I do and empower them, give them a wealth of information that they can start applying to their lives that evening while we're sitting there to make themselves stand out and to do better in life than average, that's not a plug for my book, but I do have a book, Better Than Average. And this, I give the type of information that turns ordinary people who are doing ordinary things into doing extraordinary things just by applying these success principles that I have utilized and discovered for myself, as well as that I've obtained from many mentors and many people that I study from, because the world is open for us. There are so many people that have done things and that are doing things that you can plug in and glean from them. And with the internet, because we live in the information age, it is virtually free. It's very accessible. It's no excuse, especially in the country we live in today. You can say what you want about what's going on, but really where we live, there's no excuse not to have what you want and be who you're supposed to be in life and just live a wonderful, freaking awesome life and serve people and just do great things. So I'm introducing you to the FEW, which is the Financial Empowerment Workshop, also called the Stacks and Stocks, which is what I called it the last time when I did it back in May at the Albany Chamber of Commerce. Because a part of the workshop will be about how I replaced my part-time job first and then my full-time job by trading stocks, as well as some other things of how that is a skill set, but how I had to change my mindset. So it's going to be a free, power-packed, empowering seminar that will definitely change your life. And everyone who came to ones in the past, they send me things all the time, and I'm working with some of them now, and I'm seeing the changes they've made in their lives, leaving their jobs, getting rid of their part-time jobs, helping their families, just doing great things. And so I want to welcome you once again to this skill set and mindset webinar, act like the wealthy so you can attract like the wealthy. And a couple questions that I put on some videos or some posts that led up to this live broadcast. I will be answering those as well as a wealth of other things. But let me jump right in and say, okay, I told you a little bit about my company, but why would you be tuning in? Why would you waste your time here? What can you gain from me? If I can, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Victoria Green Brackens. I'm married. I have one daughter who is about almost 15 months old. But I founded Milk and Honey Success Education because teaching is my gift. It's my spiritual gift. It's my calling. What's yours? You can type that in. This is what I was put here on earth to do. In my life mission, like I said in the other broadcast, you should adopt a life mission. You should sit down, meditate, pray, and look and see what it is you were put on earth to do. So my life mission is to empower minds and change lives. Did it for 13 years in the public school system. Wonderful time in my life. I achieved some great things. Wonderful, awesome. I absolutely loved going to work every day. That wasn't always that way though, but because I invested in myself and did some things, I became very good at my job, and I was pretty grounded on the inside. And so I loved what I did, and the results showed. And so I needed more freedom now, and I had reached my goals there, and I wanted to teach more from the stage, teach more in seminar levels, because I was writing so much and doing so much and developing so much as I was working on myself that I said I wanted to go back and teach at another level. And so God opened that door for me. He closed some other doors, and then he opened that door for me. And I actually, like I said, use passive income, paper assets, which is stock options, to replace my part-time income, and then to replace my full-time income. And so that is a wonderful thing, to have that freedom to be able to go and come more freely and just help out and do things, spend more time with my family, my daughter. It's just a wonderful, awesome thing. And I want to help people to get there. And it's not as hard as people make it out to be, but it has to do with two things: your skill set and your mindset. So we're going into that tonight. First of all, just talking about the wealth. And let me first of all define what wealth is. Wealth, a lot of times people say, is relative. Not necessarily so, but wealth means an abundance of things. Wealth means well off, more than enough. My definition of wealthy is some economics guys defined it, is the extent to which you do not have to work. When I play the cash flow game, which you guys know about those groups, some of you all, the teen cash flow that's starting at the beginning of the year, as well as the adult cash flow game who has already started in Mastermind. The key is that when your passive income, which is money you don't have to work for, is greater than your living expenses, meaning you can provide for your comfortable lifestyle without having to go and clock into anyone's workplace. You don't have to get up at a certain time. You do what you want to do, and you still can live the lifestyle that you are accustomed to. Because guess what? You can say, well, I do what I want to do, and then you live it on the streets, or you're buying a sausage and a ramen noodles, and that's not what you want. But when you have a lifestyle that you want and you don't have to work to have it, that's wealth. Okay, wealth is what you can give away. You can give away more time there. You can spend more time doing charity, more time at your church, more time with your family, more time doing all types of things. And so wealth is just the extent, the access to resources that you have, the extent to which you do not have to work. And so one facet of wealth, as I say, which is how I kind of retired from my job about 5 years ago, is when you love what you do, when you don't consider what you do every day as work, when it's not a job, but it's your life work. And that's a wonderful thing, because when I first started out as a teacher, I had the mindset, but I did not have the skill set. And let me tell you this now: if you have the mindset without the skill set, or the skill set without the mindset, you're just going to be left upset. Okay. And I kind of tweaked that from something else I heard, but mindset without the skill set without the mindset, either way, if you don't have them both, you are not going to be successful. So you have to have both. You have to be doing something, but you also have to have the right mindset, because guess what? When a broke, poor person who spends hundreds of dollars, sometimes even thousands of dollars each month playing the lottery, let's say they hit the lottery for 43, 54, or $100 million. They're usually not wealthy or rich. What they are broke, poor people with a lot of money. And studies show that almost all of them, like in the 90 something, 95, 90 something percentile, in the 5 years, they're not only broke, but they're in debt. They're in more debt than when they started, because you have to have the mindset. Giving more money to someone does not change their mindset. If they were an addict, if they were stingy, if they were mean with a little bit of money, when they get more, okay, if they by happenstance get some more, because you're not going to attract more with the wrong mindset and doing the wrong thing. But if you happen to fall upon some, get a windfall, it won't stay with you long. And the Bible talks about that as well. But that's why we need skill set and mindset. You have to have your mind right in order to have certain things, attract certain things and certain people in your life. Some people are not even going to deal with you on certain levels. People who have already achieved, people who are in higher levels in society, they're not going to deal with you. It's not all the time about your skill set. It's about your mindset. You can work on your skill set if your mindset is right, to say, I'm going to keep striving, I'm going to go after it, I will get it by any means necessary. If it's for me, there's a plan. I'm going to let God be my GPS. Okay. As I told someone earlier this week, when you commit to a plan, you see God's hand. When you write it down on paper, we talked about this before in the A Game webinars. When you say, this is what I want, and you write it down, you make a commitment, God starts putting things in action for you, but you have to work as well. So skill set and mindset. Okay. Yes. So we did go into wealth a little bit. Yes. Wealth starts on the inside. You have to be wealthy on the inside first. You have to know that you have a gift, that you have something that the world needs. And every single person has something that the world has a demand for. There are certain people that are called to you. You might not be on a big stage like Oprah Winfrey or like, Tyler Perry or Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, but you have people that are called to you. A demand is placed on you all in the world somewhere. And so that's the first thing. Wealth starts on the inside. When you know your value, when you steadily invest in yourself, when you are grounded and you know that God is with you and he's in you and he's for you, then of course you can put your hands to it and get ready to, if you don't have it already, gain that skill set. And if you do have it, you'll begin to hone it. When in the Bible, when it talks about pruning, okay, when you prune something or when you pluck it up, okay. And so there are things that you have to have right. And we talked about this before, but your mindset helps you to attract the right people, the right resources, the right situations in your life, because God says, hey, when you're faithful over a few things, I will give you ruler and dominionship over more. I will have you to do more and to have access to more and be trusted with more people and more when you have shown me that you can be faithful over what you started with. And that's it. God says, hey, I can give you both the mindset and the will set, but you have to be willing. The mindset and the skill set. You have to be willing to do that. So I want to talk about a principle or an acronym that a guy that I know and study with sometime came up with. It's called CANSI. CANSI, C-A-N-S-I. C it's an acronym, CANSI. Okay, you should always be on the CANSI principle. That is continuous and never ending or non-stop improvement. Okay, continuous and non-stop improvement. Continuous and never ending self-improvement. Always investing in myself. Always in. Yes, I have formal degrees, as I'm wearing my alma mater, my nurturing mother from undergraduate. I have gone to Troy University. I've gone to Albany State University as well. And so I have the formal degrees, but I also have spent tens of thousands of dollars on becoming a certified coach, a certified mastermind facilitator, a certified NLP practitioner, a certified mentor, and so many other things that I spend time on in learning about investing in the stock market. I spend hundreds of hours each year and tens of thousands of dollars in addition to my degrees, which cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but constant and never ending self-improvement. Because first of all, I have students now, I have people, I know that people are called to me. You may not have accepted it yet that you have them, but I know that there are people who are called to me or that I'm called to. And so I always have to stay growing and going to other levels so that I have more to give them. Because one thing I know is this: you never have to chase money if you do what you were created to do. You do what you were created to do, and you do it at an excellent level. If you're always investing in yourself so that you can add more value to the world, it's all about adding more value. Guess what? People will find you. And I'm not going to go a lot into the stock thing tonight because that's more for the seminar. a portion of it is for the seminar. But I'll tell you this, my mentor, the guy who taught me a lot of what I know and that I study under, and some of you will have the opportunity to visit his ranch and study with him as well. But he said that when you learn to do what I'm doing, and you do exactly how I tell you, and you do it well, people will find you with the money. They will find you and say, I want you to invest for me. I want you to help me. And guess what? I know it to be true. My hat's off to him because it's absolutely true. I just met with about 4 or 5 people this week that are saying the same thing. I'm ready to work with you. I want to do this. Talk to my students every day. They're talking about the trades that they're making and what they're doing, their plans for leaving their job and that kind of thing. So when you invest in yourself, always, you're always reading daily and going to seminars and listening to audio and doing all types of things to better yourself. People see it and people are attracted to you. You attract people when you elevate your energy. When you're on a higher wavelength than everybody else. And people used to tell me all the time when I worked in the high school, why do you act like every day's Friday? Why are you dancing on Monday? It's because I love my freaking life, because every day of my life, I know I'm doing what God called me to do, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely freaking amazing. And I love learning. I love teaching. Every night and every morning when I'm doing my gratitude journal, a lot of times I'm writing, I'm grateful for the gifts of teaching and learning. I love to learn. I love to teach, and it just opens many doors for me. So constant, remember the Kansi principle. Okay, write that down, type that, Kansi, Kansi. Constant and never-ending self-improvement. Always working on yourself. And guess what? You don't have to have a lot of money. Most people have an internet connection, whether it's on their phone, whether they have a laptop or a desktop at home. There are so many videos. There are so many seminars. There's so many classes that you can do on YouTube, that you can do online, that are absolutely free of charge. All it is the cost of your internet, and your internet more than likely is hooked up. If you're on here, your internet's hooked up. So if you're tuning in to me right now, so yes, please give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, say something to let me know you're here. I want you to sound off, because active learning, you retain more. So if you're here receiving this information, say something, write something about something you heard, or something you were going to change, or something that resonated with you. Type it up, write it down in your notes, but you have to be active, because remember the old proverb, if I see it, if I hear it, I forget it. If I see it, I remember. But if I do it, I tend to understand. So do it. Writing down plans, doing things while we're talking is a great way to get the most out of these webinars, to get the most out of these live sessions. So one of the questions that I attached to the video was, or one of the notes is, how your dinner determines your destiny. Okay, when we talk about acting like wealthy people, one thing, and most of you have heard me reference the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Okay, must read if you're wanting for better financial, personal, professional development, or elevation in your life. Think and Grow Rich is powerful. It's awesome. It's a must read. All the greats refer to it daily. Okay, and so in this book, he talks about decision making. He talks about how the wealthy are quick to make decisions and slow to change their mind, while the poor people are slow to make decisions and quick to change their mind. They take forever to make a decision. One thing is this: you have to learn how to be a good, time-efficient decision maker. Okay, no, I'm not saying do split decisions that make no sense, but when you constantly work on yourself and you have a wealth of knowledge, and you study and you practice and you work on yourself and you study situations, that's why the cash flow game is a good thing about analyzing deals and opportunities and that kind of thing. But when you are prepared, okay, as people say, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. There's so much indecision in the world. I hate being around people and it's like, okay, what do y'all want to eat? I don't know. What about you? Just pick. It doesn't matter. Don't ever say that. Be decisive. Say exactly what you want. Have something in mind. Be able to make a decision, because people are so indecisive that if you can't decide on dinner, guess what? It's going to be very unlikely that you can decide on walking away from a job or finding a way to transition out of your job. Not necessarily walking away from it, because some people are not at that faith level. Some people are not, just have some other things. So I'm not telling you to do that, because that's a whole different seminar. But if you're not savvy enough to make decisions such as little small things around your house, you're definitely not going to have the gall or have the, let's say, just be prepared to make a life-changing decision. And so practice being very decisive. The next time you have to make even the smallest choice, practice on making that decision and sticking to it. Okay. Being conscious enough in your mind that you can evaluate things quickly and effectively and make a decision. Go in and say, hey, this is what I want. This is what we're going to do. This is that. It's funny how I've taken road trips with my family. It will be 4 or 5 cars and nobody wants to take the lead. I'm not the oldest. I wasn't necessarily the most successful at the time, but nobody wants to take the lead. And of course, a lot of people were looking at me, but the thing is this, being able to make the decision and saying, hey, I'll deal with the consequences, thinking about there's no failure, there's just feedback. I'm going to make the decision to follow through with this, to go ahead and do it. And I'll course correct. I'll go along the way. And as things happen, I will course correct. I will change things as I need to, but being able to make that decision, because having that lackadaisical and nonchalant and very apathetic attitude is what has most people in a situation where they are, where other people are making decisions for them, meaning your job, your boss, your healthcare professional, other people. Guess what? If you don't have a decision and a plan for your life, somebody else does. Okay, all the marketers that are on television, all the people at your job, most of the time it's about the bottom line. Okay, and I recently had people around me to deal with it, to say that it's not necessarily about your well-being, it's about the well-being of the people in charge, or they're looking out for themselves. And it's a sad way to be, but that's the way the world is a lot of times. And so have to be decisive. Your dinner determines your destiny. Something as small as being able to decide on where you will go as a group for dinner, or, just small things. Being able to make decisions means that you are in control, because unsuccessful people believe they're blamers. They say that the things that they don't have and where they are a lot now and what situations they have in their lives are a result as what happened to me in my past, what they're doing at my job, my boss, my pastor. No, being totally responsible says, hey, I can make the decision that this is not working out for me. I can sever the ties, heal my wounds, and move on. But being in somebody else, the young lady had a webinar earlier this week, or I think last week, I think her Drop the Mic sessions, just saying being able to make that decision and say, let me walk away from this. It might hurt. It might take a little adjusting. I might have to simplify my lifestyle more, but okay, I'm willing to make this decision instead of letting someone or something or some situation drag me along. So being very decisive, that's one characteristic of the wealthy. That's how you can act like a wealthy person and attract opportunities and attract people to you who are in key places, because they know you know how to make sound decisions and you can do it quickly rather than dragging stuff out. You talk about the solutions rather than mulling over the problems. And we talked about that in the A-Game seminars about, your mindset, what you're thinking about those. Learn to be decisive, because something as small as your dinner impacts your destiny. If you can't make small decisions, okay, if you cannot say, you know what, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, this is what I'm not going to tolerate, on small levels, you will never be able to do it in the capacity that will change your life in a major way. So being decisive. Another question I had on there is attached to some of these posts that invited you here. Why TV is costing you thousands of dollars a year, tens of thousands of dollars a year, and 3 reasons you need to turn it off. Well, some people say, well, TV doesn't cost me that much because I only pay, a couple $100, maybe $150 or $80 a month or whatever for TV. And so it doesn't cost me that much. It's not just about the cable. Okay. That's an explicit cost. Okay. Explain right out there in the open. Implicit cost, the time you spend watching TV. Not only, these are the 3 reasons you need to. 1, because the explicit cost. Okay. You can use that money to invest. You'll be surprised how far $200 a month will go in the stock and options market. You could be using that money for something else. Okay. Secondly, and that's not the main one, because some people need it to relax, and it is a good tool because it is, we'll get to this a little bit later, but it is a absent-minded activity. It's when you're in an altered state. You're just kind of sitting there like receiving. So that's why a lot of people frown on TV, but it is a way to relax. So that's not a really big reason, but it is a reason you should turn it off, because it costs you money you could be doing something else with. The second one is advertisements. Okay. Remember I said, if you don't have a plan for your money or your life, many people do. The people who come on TV, if you never notice, pay attention from now on. When commercials come on, the volume goes up. Okay. Several octaves. The volume goes up because they want to get you. If you were tuning out the TV, doing something else in the room, reading or something like that, when the commercial comes on, they hope that it piques your interest because they want to sell you something. How many people have bought something because they saw it on TV, whether you even wasn't a commercial? I watch shows before, and sometimes I watch things, the Kardashians or the real estate thing, and I see things and I'm like, that's nice. It gives me ideas. So we've done it. Okay. You spend more money. Studies show the percentages. I don't have it right now, but I read it and heard it in Dave Ramsey's program. He's a Christian financial counselor, helped me out a lot in his Financial Peace program. One of the first programs I took, so hats off to him. It talked about the percentage more that people who watch TV spends than people who don't watch TV because of advertisements, the hidden and the seen and the unseen advertisements, the ones such as commercials, and then just the ones that you see your favorite people, your favorite characters wearing this or drinking this or something like that. So that's the second reason, because you spend more money, okay, than just the cable bill. You buy more things outside of the cable bill, more consumables rather than investing in things that make money for you. You spend more on consumer goods. The third reason you need to turn off your television is because what is called, if you remember my class, opportunity cost. What else could you be doing with the time? This is where it gets into tens of thousands, and for some of us, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of you, hundreds of thousands of dollars. What else could you be doing with that time? Working on a book, working on a program, working on learning more about a skill that you need at your job, working on doing another job so that you're more valuable at the workplace, working on yourself, developing meditation time, working on the inside of you so that it reflects on the outside, and you're a happier, healthier person when you go to work and people notice it and they call on you more, and you get more done at work. You're more productive because you're investing in yourself, watching webinars such as this, going online, looking up speakers and watching some of their stuff or reading books. Guess what? This happened to me as I was working and developing myself in the last few years, spending more time, okay, reading so that I could be at a higher value level in the world, and my demand would go up. It works, trust me. So the time you're spending watching TV, watching people that may be successful or they may not be, but may be putting on the front for you, watching them, helping their ratings and go up, liking their posts and helping their buying their products, that's time you could be spending to make yourself internally as well as externally wealthy. The time we spend watching TV, rooting for other people, even sports. And yes, sports are great and they're a great way to relax. And I'm not saying, just throw away your TVs, because you need relaxation time. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. You need to recharge. You need to let your mind rest totally from doing things, especially when you're doing high-powered things to make yourself of greater value. You need that, but not spending as much time, okay? Spending just 2 hours a day watching TV adds up to a whole lot of your life. And those statistics, I didn't write them down, but it's alarming, okay? It's very alarming how many years of your life, when you calculate it all together, that we spend watching TV or on social media. Helping other people be successful rather than helping ourselves be successful. So that's 3 reasons that your TV is costing you thousands of money. What some people call it the boob tube or the income reduction box. I heard somebody say that at a seminar a couple of weeks ago. The income, or it might have been a book I was reading, the income reduction box, because it makes you sluggish, because you're in a passive state. Okay, it makes you lazier. It makes you feel worse about yourself when you get finished watching all these famous, successful, beautiful, healthy people, and you are in the same condition. It does a lot in the negative direction as it relates to your personal development. So television, okay, limit it, change what you watch, especially the news, watching it. I hate watching the news, okay? Watching the news before you go to bed, so that stuff is in your subconscious mind, and that's what it's no wonder you cannot sleep or you don't rest well and you wake up feeling a mess, because you have all this foolishness in your subconscious, all the violence and all the injustice and all this crazy, and then waking up with it first thing in the morning. Okay, before you can even set your day, you already let all this garbage come in. So a lot of people are selective about their physical body or their physical being, but when it comes to their mental being, they'll get up in the morning and say, I need to drink some water, I need to hydrate, I need to eat well, I need to exercise, I need to do a little yoga and stretching. But then they turn on the news, and that's like freaking horrible. So turn off the TV. At least, right now, make a commitment. And a lot of people say, well, I don't watch TV. Great. Okay, even if you do watch a little TV, right now, make a note that I'm going to be more selective about what I watch. What is it how can I do that? So right now, make a commitment. Some of you type your commitment. If you've been watching every day, let's say I'm going to watch only every other day, or I'm going to have my kids on. And a lot of people have been doing that, but I still see it's not enough. And those of us who do might think we're doing, good, and we're watching certain things. Most reality shows, they're based on drama. Okay, it's like we gotta have drama. So even the ones that I saw years ago when it's related to churches and preaching and that kind of stuff, it's always something on the commercial about how this fight broke out and that kind of stuff to attract you to it. And if you're attracted to that kind of thing, then you might want to kind of question yourself of what kind of person you are. Because wealthy people spend a lot of time investing in themselves, making themselves better from the inside out, being holistic. Another thing, okay, that I put on the questionnaire: what kind of people count other people's money and why? Okay, OPM. I talked about OPM, I think, in some of my videos for the cash flow, inviting people to get in the cash flow game or put their team in the team cash flow competition. What kind of people count other people's money rather than use it to make money for them? Broke people, okay? Let me put it there. And some people might get agitated and aggravated here, but what I mean by count other people's money, most of the time, broke people are counting other people's money because they don't have their own to count, okay? And what I mean by that, and this is going to, rattle a couple chains, and I know it to be true because, one, I used to be that person, okay? And two, I've seen other people do it. And so I know it to be true. This is not something I heard of. When you count other people's money, meaning you're at a seminar or you are at church or you're somewhere where they're collecting money or there's somebody selling something, and you say to your friend or you say to yourself, now, if it's this many people in the room or this many people are back there and this person's charging this, then they're about to make X number of dollars. And then in your mind say, I'm not going to contribute to that. I'm not going to let that person. And guess what? If your money is determining or the determining factor, the deciding factor for me being successful, I'm in bad shape. And so usually your mindset is there because you have a poverty-stricken mindset. You have that scarcity mentality. You think it's a zero-sum game. That means if I get more, it means less for you. No, there's plenty of money to be made in the world we live in. There's plenty of money to be made when you offer a service to people, and you never have to chase that money. It will find you. When I say I'm a money magnet in my affirmations, it's true. I'm not looking for money. It finds me, okay? I'm looking to add value to people, empower their minds, and change their lives, the things that I know to be true. And so you don't have to chase money. You can attract it. You elevate your energy. You become a greater person, and the money will find you. People will find you with money in hand and say, hey, I need you. I want you. And I know it to be true. So counting other people's money is when you're focusing all the time on what somebody else is making. I don't want to do that because I know he's going to make this much on it. Or if they're collecting this for him and this many people give that, that's a poverty mindset. That's a small mind. That means you're focusing more on somebody else's money because you don't have your own to count. And it's sad, but it's true. And some people might be getting agitated right now because it's you. It was me once. I would be sitting in a room and somebody will offer something, and it might be a great product, a great service. And because I'm sitting thinking like, oh, this person is about to make $20,000 in this room. Oh, I'm not going to be. And guess what? As the older people say, cutting off my nose to spite my face. The only questions I ask now when I'm somewhere and they're presenting something, especially if it's educational, if it's a course, if it's a book or something, one, is it of value? Can that make my life better? Is it going to add more value to my life? And two, if I don't have the money right now, how can I get it? Okay. And that's the thing. Thankfully, I usually don't have to ask the second question. It's like, is it of value to me? Then I'm going forth with it. Okay. As I heard one of my old spiritual mentors say, you eat the meat and spit out the bones. If it's for me, it's for me. If not, it's not. And that's a little key I want to give to people who are salespeople right now. Everybody's a salesperson. Everybody's in the market. You're trying to sell something, whether it's you're trying to sell yourself in a relationship, you're trying to sell information to your students. If you're a teacher, everybody's in sales and marketing. So let's put the cap on that. But let me give people who are in business for themselves or in business at all, let me give you a key. Don't ever get offended by people who don't want your product or be afraid to say they might not like it, they may not want it. That's right. Everything is not for everybody. Some people will say it's too expensive, but I heard something awesome from one of my mentors, some of his old stuff that I was digging through the other day. It said, when somebody comes to me, Les Brown, he said, somebody comes to me and they want me to speak and they're saying, your fee is too high. He says, no, I don't charge too much. Is that you don't have enough money. That's it. You want to get a $15,000 speaker, you get them, and that you'll get what you pay for. But when you want to deal with the best, you come back to me. And maybe, just maybe, I'll be at the same rate. That's it. If you know who you are and you have sat down and meditated and calculated and you know why you charge what you charge, say it unapologetically. go forth, and if God leads you or some kind of compassion leads you to give somebody a break, that's up to you, but not because a person comes to you and tries to persuade you or guilt you into giving them something. If you know what the value is and how it's going to change your life, and that goes back to why you have to always be investing in yourself, bring yourself to a level that is definitely just awesome and guaranteed to change people's lives in whatever arena you work, then you have no shame, you have no apologies about offering your service up at whatever your fee is, because the Bible says that a man is worthy of his hire. Okay, that one of the great things in life is to complete your work and be able to rest and enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's in Ecclesiastes, to be able to eat good from what you do. And you determine that. You can, going back to being a decision maker, be decisive about what value you add and what you charge for, and leave it there, because it's for some people and it's not for some people. Okay. The Mercedes or the Corvette dealership is not for everybody. Okay. So you let people be at the level they are. Some will grow to be there with you, and some just are called to other people. So don't apologize and don't feel sad and think you're going to be rejected. It doesn't say anything about you. It says something about them, especially only if you know that you are bringing the value that you need to bring to the world. So that was just a little sidebar. But the question, I'll just answer the question. Broke people count other people's money, and why they do is because they don't have money of their own. I'm not seeing a lot of people feeding back right now, so I don't know if people are agitated, irritated, but it's true. I just gave you a nugget. If you find yourself counting other people's money or holding back and saying you're not going to support somebody because you see they're doing well, or they may, receive a great amount from what's going on, you need to check yourself. What kind of wealthy people don't count other people's money. They're too busy managing their own finances and working. They have a lot going on. It's a responsibility to be wealthy, because you have a lot of people that depend on you. A lot of people trust you with their money and their time. You have a lot of things that you offer, and you have to make sure that they're on point. So it's not, an easy job. It's worth it. It's very much worth it. But it's not easy. So a wealthy person is not going to be counting the next person's money. As a matter of fact, wealthy people work together. They collaborate. They say, you offer this service, I offer this. Let's get together and put on a retreat together. Let's do this together. Let's offer this conference together, rather than standing back, counting somebody else's money, being jealous, being mad. Okay. I heard somebody define it. And once I heard it, this is the law of attraction, or that reticular activator system. Once you see something, then it pops up everywhere. Okay. I heard someone say once, and then I heard it again and again, that jealousy is love and hate at the same time. Okay. So I processed that. What does that mean? Jealousy is love and hate at the same time. So some people are jealous. They see you, they love what you're doing, and it's awesome, but they hate that it's not them doing it. And so they're angry on the inside. They're hurt. So I'm giving you all these good nuggets to say, hey, listen, get your skill set right, get your mindset right. And I promise you, remember I said skill set without the mindset, or mindset without the skill set, is going to leave you upset. But guess what? When you put them together, when you have the skill set and the mindset, you'll be able to jet set, baby. You'll be able to live the life you want to live. And I promise it to be true. So getting that mindset right. So Kanzi, that principle, always invest in yourself, thinking like a wealthy person, acting like a wealthy person. Now, admire, not attack. That's another thing. Wealthy people hang around other wealthy people, people who are going somewhere, people who are having conversations about investments, about growth, about traveling, about things that are positive and causing you to be upwardly mobile, as some people say it. You admire wealthy people instead of attacking them. If your mind is always attacking and saying, oh, these people are snobby, or these people are mean, or they're crooked, in your mind, your subconscious is going to say, well, I don't want to be wealthy because they're evil, they're mean, I don't like them. You should always find somebody who is wealthy on the inside and out and emulate them, be around them, offer them a service, ask them could you be in their tutelage? Could they mentor you? Could you serve them for free? Yes. And that's something I talk about in my book, Better Than Average. Better Than Average is, and I do a seminar on this as well, a 1 to 3 day seminar, depending on what people want. Better Than Average is just a very succinct, very easy read about success principles that to make you attract the right type of people and situations in your life. You can get that on my website, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But admire, don't attack people who are successful, because that goes back again to your mindset. If you are attacking people and always finding something wrong, I heard Zig Ziglar say that some people find fault, like there's a reward for it. And it's true. I know negative people like that. We're not going to get back into that. We talked about that in the A game, talking about your attitude, what you're thinking on. But admire people who are doing well. Free yourself from having that mental bondage of hating them. Because this way, when you're hating on them, it causes your mind to be at dis-ease. And that's where that word disease comes from. You're mentally stressed. You're mentally bogged up. Your body is tense. You're going through all types of things because you're hating on and thinking negative thoughts about these people, because it's jealousy. It's love and hate at the same time. You love the idea of doing well and having the life you want to live, but you hate that it's not you, when in reality, it could very well be you, okay? If you get alongside these people and learn from them. That's the thing, one of my favorite movies. And I love movies because they can teach you so much, okay? And watching a lot of TV shows, no, but if I'm intentional and I want to watch something, I pop in a movie sometimes. But my number one favorite movie of all times, I have about 3, but my favorite number one movie of all times is The Color Purple. And I've seen it probably about 8,932 times. But every time I watch it, I get something different out of it. But there's a quote in there that says, when Celie was saying, people can't, Mr. talking about shoes, people can't stand for people being too proud and too free. And I know that just came home to me so close to home, or came and landed so home for me in the last few months, the last year or so. People can't stand it. You know why? Okay, because in their mind, they have a mindset that has been trained to, as I talked about in another video, to be on the assembly line. And it doesn't have to be a literal assembly line, like in Procter & Gamble or something like that. The assembly line, going to your 9 to 5 every day, getting in the herd, clocking in, doing exactly what you're told to do and what you're expected to do, rather than living the life you want to live and the life you were created and called to live. And when they see other people doing it, of course, then it has to be a scam, or it has to be that this is what I do. I'm a success and achievement trainer. I have helped people to get to from where they are now to where they want to be. Okay, moving from that 9 to 5 mentality to the 3 to 5 mentality. It's not that hard. God created us to have dominion, to be free, to just enjoy our lives as well as enjoy what we do, and it's an awesome feeling. Somebody was just asking me today, how does it feel to be free, to not to be, at the gym in the middle of the day, you're walking around in your gym clothes all day, or to have this freedom to just go and pick your daughter up or let her stay home from school. It's awesome. It's freaking amazing. It's what God created us to do. When you're in your element and you're doing what you love to do, you love it. Sometimes I'm on these webinars and time passes so quickly, and I'm like, I was only supposed to talk for this amount, because I love this, because it's what I do, because it's what God breathed into me. So it just comes natural to me. And that's the thing. When you find that, you will thrive in it. When you find that and you work on it more and more and more, God will meet you there, and things will just open up for you. So that's where I'm trying to get you with these webinars. And the seminar, like I said, is going to be more of this mindset thing as well as the skill set thing, showing you how to go in and use stocks to make lots of money for you, and take your hands off the plow so much, and be able to do things that you want to do. Okay, as one of the guys I follow says, well, you will be able to do more of what you love, less of what you tolerate, and none of what you hate. And isn't that a wonderful life? But there's so many people that will never see that as a reality, will never make that move, will never make the decision to say, hey, I got to do better so that I can. Okay, what is it that you want to do? Somebody type and tell me, what is it that you want to do that you haven't made the decision on, you haven't pulled the trigger on, you haven't laid the hammer down yet and said, this is what I need to do. Type it in, tell me exactly what it is that you know will free up your mind and your body to live an extraordinary life and help other people be attracted to that. Okay, because the wealthy, all right, they're wealthy from the inside out. Okay, and that goes into my next little piece. Holistic development, holistic, WHO, holistic, the whole thing. Okay, wealth starts from the inside and reflects on the outside. Okay, your inside, your inner, okay, creates your outer. What is unseen is more important than what's seen, and we've gone through this before. It's talked about a lot in the Bible. Okay, the root system of the tree has far more impact on what's above the ground. Okay, and it is vital. So making sure that you are healthy physically, mentally, socially, making sure that you're working on yourself professionally. All this is necessary when you're getting your skill set and your mindset together to attract wealth, to attract more money, more opportunities, to attract more people who have positive and assets and blessings to bring to the table rather than liabilities and burdens. You have to elevate yourself to get to that status where people want to be around you. Elevate your energy and people are attracted to it. Money is attracted to you. Opportunities are attracted to you. Resources are attracted to you when you are ready. Okay. But a lot of people spend more time making excuses than making preparation, saying that person was lucky. Do you know that probably about 80% or more of millionaires are first-time millionaires? Okay, first generation rich, meaning nobody gave it to them. Okay, they earned it. They came from the bottom and they worked. And that's the thing. When you have that mindset that you can and you will, and I'll get around somebody, I'll start somewhere. That's all it takes, because the universe, God will make things happen for you. Remember my little saying: if you commit to a plan, you'll see God's hand. Be decisive. Put it on paper and get to work on it. Okay, and God will make it happen for you. So, but you have to be holistically ready. Okay, I don't know how many people type it on here. Raise your hand. Tell me if you do yoga. Okay, tell me if you do stretching or exercise in the morning. Get your body going. If you eat well. Okay, you don't eat a lot of junk, because GIGO. Remember that GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. And that's for your mental as well as your physical. Eating a lot of stuff that makes you sluggish, makes you tired, makes you irritable, riddles your body with disease, pain, especially when you know it runs in your family, certain things like that you're becoming more susceptible to. That is a sure way to make sure that you're blocking your success when you're not feeding your mind and your body the things that it needs to be fed. And that's mandatory. It's imperative that you are holistic, that you're working on your relationships. I'm not the perfect at relationships. I'm not perfect at health, but working on it to make sure that you are sincere and you're genuine with the value you're adding to the world, that you're not a hypocrite, and you're working with. I'll say this, okay? Yes, based on the definition I have experience and do have experience with wealth. Do I want to get to a greater? Because what's the definition? Being able to live your comfortable lifestyle without clocking into somebody's job, or the extent to which you don't have to work. My life is not as complicated as some people. I just told you I can do without cable. I like to travel, but there are certain things I can do without. And I've come up with a way to generate enough income through stocks and through other things that I don't necessarily have to go to a job or to clock in. But also I do what I love. So, even if when I was a classroom teacher, I still didn't consider it a job. And so wealth on the inside gives you that mindset to say, hey, listen, even though I go to a 9-to-5, this is something I love to do. And it's so wonderful to me that every job on this universe, somebody actually loves to do it. Somebody wants to do that. Somebody wants to ride on the garbage truck because it's fun and because they get to be outside in nature and they get to discover, treasures in the trash and that kind of thing. Somebody loves to do that. There's nothing wrong with it, not frowning upon it. Someone loves to operate on people and see all that blood and gory stuff and come up with a way to patch this up and make this person live a more excellent life after they come out of the operation. Someone loves to do that. Somebody loves to massage people's feet. Somebody loves to teach kids, loves to stand in a classroom. Somebody loves to do everything on this earth. So why are so many people not doing it? Because of fear, because of not being taught to start early, practicing on what you want to do rather than just go find a job or find a good paying job, and it may be something you hate. But preparing yourself holistically, reading, okay, going to your church, meditating, getting your mind together to receive ideas from God, to receive solutions to problems in your quiet time, writing out plans, just doing things that make you a better person, that take you to another level, that you can add value to the world holistically. Having your body in shape is so much more than just looking good. Okay, it's about feeling good, because certain things were not created for us. They were man-made, and they tear us down. They break. I'm not saying just be that square who's eating celery sticks and carrots and water all the time, because in moderation, some things are good and you want to treat yourself. But when you're consistently feeding yourself, especially when you know certain things run in your family, okay, the majority of the number 1, 2, and 3 diseases that people die from in the U.S. are preventable diseases. Okay, things such as diabetes and things that we can, hypertension, heart disease, things that we can avoid if we make, going back to something I said earlier, that commitment to being decisive, to saying, hey, I have to do something about this. I'm going to be totally responsible. It's nobody's fault that I am where I am in my career. It's nobody's fault that I got passed over or this happened. I'm totally responsible. What could I have done differently? And it goes back to being investing in yourself holistically. Wealthy people, on every hand, they're going to make sure that they are healthy, that they are wise, that they are decisive, that they are contributive to the world. All these things make for their success, make for them being able to attract wealth, because as the Bible says, God is the one who gives us the ability to get wealth. How do you get it? Positioning yourself, getting yourself ready to attract that to you, to have certain people and certain opportunities fall into your lap. And I've seen them literally fall into my lap and the laps of other people when you are prepared. But guess what? If you don't know how to handle your $20,000 a year job, you're not going to be able to handle a $40 or an $80 or $120,000 job. When you get your mindset right, okay, the skill set will attract what you need. Because I know plenty of people who have several degrees and they don't make nearly as much as people who just have a training or a certification from a technical college. One, because the passion is not there. They don't do what they love. Somebody pushed them into a job. And secondly, because they're not holistically invested. They're not sound in their souls as well as their bodies to make certain decisions. So it's imperative that you invest in yourself holistically. And in the seminar, in the financial empowerment seminar or / stacks and stocks seminar, we'll be working on mindset as well as skill set. I will be helping you to condition your mind for wealth, because so many, the majority, as a matter of fact, 95% or more of people in the U.S. in the nation are trained to go to work, go to school, get an education, and go get a good job. While wealthy people teach their kids to create a job, to take over the family business, start a business. Never, ever. First of all, they don't depend solely or relinquish the education of their child to a public school system or a school system, a formal school system. They start at home, okay? But the second thing is, they don't tell them about going to get a job. They teach them about investing. They teach them about having passive income. They teach them about creating a job, the job they want, rather than going to work on somebody's assembly line. Because as I've said before, and a lot of people were stunned about this. They were sending out the wow emoji, okay? That they never thought of how the American education system is set up right now is based on 20th century ideals, that we were training people to go to an assembly line. The bell rings at 8 o'clock. Guess what? You shuffle and go to your seat. You're quiet. You do what you're told all day. There's no freedom. There's no laughing. There's no collaboration. And you wait for another bell to go eat. You wait for the other bell to go home for the evening. That's assembly line. That's the 20th century when the Industrial Revolution was going on. A lot of people don't even know that. Okay, a job is what, 8 hours. Okay, 9 to 5. A lot of times in school is 8 to 4. Somewhere around this 8:33. Guess what? A lot of people didn't even know. No creativity, no freedom, and then that's the way we're training our kids, and we don't even know why. And that's why the American education system is failing a lot in comparison to other countries who teach technical skills, who teach vocational hands-on stuff, rather than a bunch of rote memorization facts and things. And also, some of the things we never teach, we don't teach holistically in school, rather than regurgitation of facts, but helping kids find out what it is they're good at, what it is they were put on earth to do, so they can start out at an early age interning for that. Even in the elementary and middle schools, interning for that, because the more hours you put in, the better you're going to be at, the more of a demand people will place on you in the world, because you're more experienced. But we train them to go get a good job, and so many kids go and get jobs because it's the first one they can find, or it makes good money, and it's something that they hate. They want to commit suicide. They're stressed out. They have all this stress and tension in their bodies. And I've worked with people have, always complaining about something, always, feeling down, always in a bad mood, always sick, because it's a result of doing jobs that you hate or tolerate. And it's not necessary. And those are some of the things that I teach, not only in my book and seminar Better Than Average, but we will definitely be going over some of that at the free financial empowerment workshop. The few, helping you to be one of the few rather than the trivial many, the people who are in that herd that you're caught in the traffic jam in the morning because y'all are going in the same direction at the same time, which is a no-no. Okay, going to Disney World in July when it's triple digit degrees, okay, and everybody's in line, everybody's on vacation at the same time. That's foolishness, okay? But a lot of people, because of the herd mentality, that's what's killing our country. That's what's causing a lot of the violence, a lot of things, because people are turning in on themselves because they don't feel they have decisions. They don't feel they have choices, options. When in reality, when you work on yourself holistically, picking up a book, going on YouTube and looking at a seminar, getting with people, getting around people, and partnering with people, even in your own city, your own town, your own church that have achieved, that are wealthy, that are doing great things, and just being of service to them or just getting around them so that you can glean from them. You can rub elbows with them. It's absolutely freaking awesome, the change it will make in your life. So that's the other thing, just being holistic. Wealthy people do not, and we'll talk a lot more about this in the few seminar on December 7th. At the Micro Business Center. They don't pay full price for anything, okay? They spend most of their time and their money looking for assets, things that will make them money. While poor people spend most of their time on how to spend their money, rich people, wealthy people think about how to make money. And that's the thing. They don't pay full price for anything, not even stocks. And I'll teach you how to do that. Warren Buffett's strategy, he never pays full price for stock. And you say, well, how do you do that? It's easy, it's simple, and it definitely will make you money. But rich people negotiate a lot for stuff. That's talk about in Better Than Average, my seminar. We spend probably about half a day on negotiation strategies, how to never pay full price for anything, not even a visit to the doctor. Okay, especially big ticket items. But that's the thing. Wealthy people work on how to save their money on consumables and be able to spend or put more into investment so that they can step back and have that passive income and not have to work for anything or anybody, but pretty much live the lives that God created us to live, to spend more time with family and friends, spend more time giving back. That's a wonderful thing. Wealthy people attract, okay? When you act like the wealthy, you will attract like the wealthy, but you have to have that mindset first. Yes, we go by that principle. Once again, act as if it already happens. And no, I do not mean acting like a rich person. I'm talking about a wealthy person. Especially some of these people are fake rich when we're looking at these celebrities with all this rented stuff and all this crazy stuff, but that's another story. When I say act like the wealthy, I'm talking about reviewing some of the stuff we've already done, investing in your education always, that Kanzi principle, continuous and never ending or nonstop personal improvement, okay? Kanzi, always doing that, investing in yourself, taking time to meditate and relax and rest when you need to. Being decisive, especially when it comes to life-changing events, about the people in your life, the job that you do, the time that you spend, not going to a job that causes you so much stress and tension that you're sick on the inside and out and it's freaking out all your relationships and that kind of thing. Wealthy people, okay? Acting like a wealthy person, also not paying full price for anything, not spending more money on consumables than you do on assets, on more money on, as they say, guns and butter, on more butter, stuff that's going to melt away and take your money than you spend on guns, okay? Things that can produce for you and will be used again and again and again, those capital goods. Learning how to negotiate. That's the things I'm talking about. I'm not talking about wearing flashy clothing and doing, yes, I like to look nice, but guess what? You can look nice at a great price. All right, in this book right here, and I'm not an affiliate for this guy, I'm just telling you, Dr. Thomas J. Stanley, he has spent years and years studying millionaires. He has several books, but this book right here, one of my relative mentors told me this about this years ago. Stop Acting Rich and Live Like a Real Millionaire, Dr. Thomas J. Stanley. Just talking about how what most people think about the wealthy is not true, that they shop at Gucci and Prada and that kind of stuff. Yes, it's good to own some of that stuff, and you know, it feels good. I like to go into the Gucci store and they actually bring you cookies on a silver tray and some water, okay? And it's awesome. So I have a few of those things, but you can get it at a discount, okay? The top stores that wealthy people shop at, Ross, TJ Maxx, yard sales, thrift shops, that kind of thing, because they spend the big money on things that count, things that are going to make more money for them. And yes, they wear nice clothes and they drive nice cars, but they've learned how to not pay full price for anything, not even their assets. And so acting like a rich person is not flashing. And because remember, I told you, a person that wins the lottery or a kid from the hood who goes off and becomes a basketball star, a lot of times they're not rich or wealthy. There are poor people with money, and eventually they'll be back to that poor person because that's their mindset. You're only going to attract, okay, what your mindset is capable of entertaining or containing. And so that's how, like I said, a lot of lottery winners will be broke and in debt in greater, even greater 5 years after. I think it's 2 to 5 years after they hit that big jackpot of millions, sometimes hundreds of millions. If you're not a good money manager, without it, $100 million is not going to make you a good money manager. And so always working on yourself, so when opportunities, you will attract them, and when they come, you'll be ready to handle them. Whether it's an investment opportunity, whether it's a relationship opportunity, whether it's an opportunity to give back, somewhere that you want to display your life work and somebody wants you to come and do this, you'll be ready. When you focus on yourself holistically and you act like a rich person, you will attract like a wealthy person. And so that's the thing. Time is wrapping up. I wanted to keep it right at an hour. So it's 1 hour now, so about 5 minutes to wrap up. Just a couple things. The seminar, it's an in-person seminar. It's not a webinar, but it's an in-person seminar. It's called the Few Financial Empowerment Workshop. And it's also playing on that word, becoming one of the few. It's only 2% of people own about 95% of the wealth in America. Okay, it's lonely at the top and crowded at the bottom. Okay, and the few or slash the stacks and stock seminar, because that's what I called it the last time when it was at the chamber, because a lot of it is about some of the strategies I use in stocks you can do with little money, little or no risk. And yes, it is true, because a lot of people are afraid, even when the market's low, when it's sideways, there are strategies. I invested in the time to learn. My teachers are great. But so half of it will be about your mindset, as well as attracting more money to yourself, different things you can do in your bills, different things you can do to start saving and making yourself more money that same night, as soon as you get the information. It's not, I'm trying to sell you this or get you. It's stuff you can apply right then. Okay. And then the other part of the workshop will be actually looking into some of these strategies, and hopefully you might be able to hear from some of my students who are currently in my last class, and they're getting ready to graduate next month in November. And so you'll see these flyers up right here. I've started. Registration opens November 1st. Okay, you can, just like the other one, you can go to my website, www.milkandhoney.com. That's HUNEE.com, milkandhoney.com. It's on the flyer, and you can register. Space is limited, and so when it fills up, just like all my other stuff, people start calling us in the emails, but you waited, you missed the opportunity. Lack of decision, as we talked about earlier, okay? Being quick to make decisions. That's one characteristic of wealthy and successful people. Being able to say either I'm in or I'm not. It's for me or it's not. Lagging around. And let me give you a little tip. A lot of times salespeople, especially high ticket sales items like cars and washing machines and trips and stuff like that, salespeople are trained to get around your objections. So if you're not the decisive person, if you don't have the gall, you're not confident enough to just say no. Okay, no, I'm not interested, but you say, well, this is coming up, or I got this. They are trained to get around those because they can sense, they can smell weakness. And a lot of times they'll drill you into it because they're trained to get around objections. I know I've been in some of this sales training. I've seen people take it as well. Okay, and so that's another reason that you should be decisive and say, hey, that's not for me. No, I'm not interested. Okay. Rather than beating around the bush. So if you let this pass you by, the building is a certain capacity, fire code. So I cannot get with so many people, and I already have people who are waiting for me to open registration, because I said, when you can do what you do well, people will find you. I have people already ready for me to help them invest, already wanting me to invest for them. And so when you see these flyers, this is the regular paper size. You're going to see the larger flyer sizes around, maybe in your barbershop, your beauty salon, the gym, somewhere, your church bulletin. A lot of churches have been working with me on that, putting it out there, because this is financial empowerment. This is changing lives. And so when you see the flyer, go ahead and register. It opens November 1st. I'm waiting because I'm closing down the Teen Cash Flow Mastermind in a couple of days. I don't want to have both of those running at the same time. So when you get ready, just go ahead, put your information on there, and then we'll register you. There will be thousands of dollars of giveaways. Yes, thousands of dollars of giveaways. It's going to be all this stuff right here is going to tell you how to make money in the stock market with as little as $150, how to avoid 100% risk and have no skin in the game as it relates to risk. A whole lot of other stuff is going to be going on in this. So the time is 6 o'clock p.m. the Micro Business Center downtown, Jackson Street, 230 Jackson Street, December 7th, 6 o'clock. Okay, it's going to last about an hour and a half of wonderful, life-changing, empowering information. So please, be decisive. Also, you can go on my website and you can order the book, Better Than Average. Okay, I have a seminar as well that goes with that just talks about, getting you out of that herd and letting you stand out and live the life God has called you to live, the life that you are happy to celebrate every day. Our time is about done. I want to make sure I've covered everything I need to. My website, www.memphishoney.com. That's honey is spelled differently. And some of you all are familiar with it. If you have, I have a few spots left